Nipsey mad as hell. Nip, don't do it. Oh, woo!
Adored as a hero in his home community of Crenshaw and an icon on the global stage, the death of Ermias Asghedom, popularly known as Nipsey Hussle, sent bitter reverberations around the whole world, leading many wondering about the truth behind the tragic passing of the beloved rapper. If you're one of the people looking for the truth about Nipsey Hussle's death, then you need to keep on watching this video as everything will be revealed to you. Nipsey Hussle death. A quiet name in the music industry, not many knew the Grammy-nominated rapper before his murder, but news of Nipsey's death went viral and led to a huge online outpouring of grief and love from huge names in the music industry and beyond. The death of Nipsey Hussle gave a massive boost to his name and music within a mainstream that had barely heard of him. Eulogies on social media from famous celebrities helped bring his music to the attention of millions. His memorial service was graced by the presence of famous names such as Stevie Wonder, Snoop Dogg, Jhené Aiko, who performed in his memory, and many others. His family even got offerings of condolences from former President Barack Obama. But the man Nipsey Hussle was much more than that. His death made it clear that his legacy will also be anchored to a successful journey out of the roughest corners of LA to become a community-focused business leader. Keep watching to find out more about the life of Nipsey Hussle, as we walk you through to where it all began for the rapper. Nipsey Hussle. Who was he? Ermias Joseph Asghedom was born in Los Angeles, California on August 15, 1985, to Angelique Smith, an African-American woman, and DeWitt Asghedom, an immigrant from Eritrea. He was raised in the neighborhood of Crenshaw, South LA, with his brother Samuel and his sister Samantha. He attended Alexander Hamilton High School in the Castle Heights neighborhood close to where they lived, but dropped out before graduating. At the age of 14, Nipsey left home and joined the local Rollin' 60s, a subset of the Crips gang primarily based in Crenshaw. His stage name, a play on the name of comedian Nipsey Russell, originated as a nickname given to Nipsey by a childhood friend. Known professionally as Nipsey Hussle, Nipsey eventually burst onto the music scene. Emerging from the West Coast hip-hop scene in the mid-2000s, Nipsey released his first mixtape, Slauson Boy Volume 1, as an independent artist, which gained average local success and led to him being signed to Cinematic Music Group and Epic Records. Nipsey Hussle, Grammy 2019. Nipsey Hussle became known for his numerous mixtapes, including his Bullets Ain't Got No Name series, The Marathon Continues, and Crenshaw, the last of which Jay-Z bought 100 copies for $100 each. After much delay, his studio album Victory Lap was released in 2018 to critical acclaim and commercial success, and was nominated for the Best Rap Album at the 61st Grammy Awards in 2019, losing to Cardi B. But at the 62nd Grammy Awards, Nipsey bagged 2 posthumous Grammy Awards for the songs Racks in the Middle and Higher in the Best Rap Performance and Best Rap Sung Performance categories respectively. Nipsey Hussle and community activism. At the age of 19 in 2004, Nipsey's father took both him and his brother Samuel on a trip to Eritrea, East Africa for 3 months. Nipsey credited the trip with inspiring him to become a community activist with an entrepreneurial spirit. Nipsey's nickname was gotten from his spirit of entrepreneurship. He shined shoes for $2.50 to pay for school clothes at age 11, with the goal of shining 100 shoes a day. Nipsey sold his mixtapes out of a car trunk at a neighborhood strip mall at the intersection of Slauson Avenue and Crenshaw Boulevard. After leaving Epic Records, he founded his own record label, All Money In. He released his first major project, The Marathon, through the label on December 21, 2010. He released subsequent projects under his label, including The Marathon Continues in 2011, Crenshaw in 2013, and 2014's Mailbox Money. He also signed other artists, including Jay Stone, Pac-Man the Gunman, B.H., Kabi Supreme, Cuzzy Capone, and Killa Twan. Nipsey experimented with unorthodox sales strategies by selling expensive copies of certain mixtapes even while the songs were distributed for free. Nipsey's Marathon branding inspired Steve Carless in 2013 when he founded Marathon Agency with business partners Karen Civil and Jorge Peniche. They designed the brand, which was founded on talent, to attract a diverse set of clients in all stages of their careers. In October 2016, Carlos, the head of the agency, told Billboard that Nipsey had invested like over 6 figures in the Marathon agency and described him as kind of like our silent partner. Nipsey Hussle entrepreneurship journey. Nipsey opened the Marathon clothing store, which he founded along with partners Steve Carlos, Karen Civil, and his brother Samuel in 2017, and started a co-working environment which he named Vector 90. Opening the store at this intersection of the Crenshaw Commercial District was important to him because he wanted to invest and provide opportunities in his neighborhood of Hyde Park. The store is billed as a smart store, which bridges the gap between culture and technology by giving customers access to exclusive music and other content created by rappers through an app created by software engineer Idris Sandu. The year before his death, Nipsey had bought the small shopping center where his store was located, after partnering with the real estate investor David Gross. On March 31, 2019, Nipsey Hussle was fatally shot outside his store Marathon Clothing in South Los Angeles, a horrific shock to his family, friends, and community at large. Eric Holder, a 29-year-old man who was said to have confronted Nipsey earlier in the day, was arrested and charged with his murder on April 2, 2019. His death has left fans all over the world wondering why he was murdered. Maybe the details of his death can give us an insight. Death of Nipsey Hussle. 33-year-old Nipsey Hussle was shot alongside 2 other men outside of his clothing store on March 31, 2019. Many rumors have surfaced following his death, with some of them suggesting his death was linked with police investigations, gang-related violence, the US government, pharmaceutical companies, and the Illuminati. A few months after Nipsey's death, it came to light that the police had been investigating him and his businesses, which added fuel to the fire on theories of police involvement in his killing. The LA City Attorney's Office had been tracking Nipsey's property, alleging it was a hangout for a local criminal gang and that it was the site of attempted murders, shootings, and robberies. Although the Los Angeles Police Department refused to comment despite numerous requests. It is not a secret that Nipsey Hussle had a violent past, with him having affiliations with his local gang, the Rolling 60s Crips, and growing up in gang culture. So perhaps this is a more likely cause of his untimely death. Nipsey Hussle and Eric Holder. His suspected murderer, 29-year-old Eric Holder, is said to have been involved in the same gang as Nipsey's. He and Nipsey grew up in the same neighborhood, and like Nipsey, Holder was a rapper, but never did get as much success as Nipsey. His stage name was Fly Mac, but no one ever called him that. Holder was often given more vulgar nicknames. The most popular one, Shit. Nipsey had told Holder that he was starting to gain a reputation as a snitch and asked him to handle his business. According to transcripts at the pre-trial hearing, a conversation allegedly took place between Holder and Nipsey moments before he was shot, where Nipsey apparently accused Holder of being a snitch. The word snitch is mentioned in the transcript 24 times. That could have been the reason behind Nipsey's murder, according to one LA gang member. There is CCTV footage showing a man approaching Nipsey with a gun in each hand and opening fire on him outside the clothing store he owned in South Crenshaw, Los Angeles. The man seemed to turn away before returning to shoot him again. He retreated once more, and if that wasn't enough, reappeared for the final time, shooting Nipsey and kicking him in the head. According to the code of the streets, calling someone a snitch is a serious implication that could lead to serious consequences. It's considered disrespectful, and with gang members, disrespect leads to dire situations as the accused looks to get his honor back. Who knows? Maybe that was what led to Holder shooting Nipsey at least 10 times just outside his clothing store in his own beloved neighborhood. Nipsey was not new to street violence, having been caught in the middle of a brawl in West Hollywood back in December of 2018, despite already being a respectable member of the music industry. And it is also the same for his clothing store, as gunfire was reportedly heard at his store in September 2018, though reports claim that no one was injured. Nipsey was incredibly involved in his local community, in which he worked to prevent gang violence. He helped spear a major art initiative in his old neighborhood called Destination Crenshaw, a 1.3-mile open-air museum that featured local art. He also helped launch Vector 90, a Crenshaw-based STEM learning center and workspace dedicated to developing science and technology education in the area. During a showcasing of Vector 90 in 2019, Nipsey told the LA Times, "I grew up in gang culture. We dealt with death, with murder. It was like living in a war zone where people die on these blocks and everybody is a little bit immune to it. I guess they call it post-traumatic stress when you have people that have been at war for such a long time. I think LA suffers from that because it's not normal, yet we embrace it like it is after a while." Tributes to Nipsey Hussle. A petition was started to rename the intersection of Slauson Avenue and Crenshaw Boulevard near Nipsey's Marathon clothing store to Nipsey Hussle Square. On the day of his funeral, the council announced it was set to be renamed Ermias Nipsey Hussle Asghedom Square to honor him and his contributions to the neighborhood. There was a strong artistic response to Nipsey Hussle's death. Within a few months, over 50 murals dedicated to the rapper were painted in Los Angeles. One mural is in an alley near the strip mall where he was killed. Nipsey's store has remained closed since his death. Inspired by the books that Nipsey had mentioned in interviews, songs, and motivational messages, local chapters of the Marathon Book Club have formed. The list includes self-help bestsellers, cult classics, and little-known books by Black authors. At the 2020 Grammy Awards, DJ Khaled, Kirk Franklin, John Legend, Meek Mill, Roddy Ricch, and YG, one of Nipsey's closest friends despite the fact that they both belong to rival gangs, paid tribute to Nipsey and honored his legacy. Puma released the Marathon clothing collection in September 2019, with 100% of the net proceeds going to the Neighborhood Nip Foundation. The A&B store opened in September 2019 on Crenshaw Boulevard. This is another clothing company founded by Nipsey with Kabi Supreme, who was one of his best friends and an artist on his label. Snoop Dogg released the tribute song Nipsey Blue in August 2020. Big Sean, another rapper, also dropped a tribute song, Deep Reverence, in honor of Nipsey Hussle. The track was also released in August 2020 and features Nipsey. The music video was released in March 2021. A documentary on Nipsey Hussle is in development at Netflix and is set to be co-produced and possibly directed by Ava DuVernay. Nipsey Hussle is survived by a daughter from one relationship and a son with actress and model Lauren London. The two began dating back in 2013 and decided to keep their relationship under wraps, with rumors swirling about their engagement.